guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Georgia and today I'm testing out the Revolution Precious Glamour collection. I've got the highlighter, lipstick, mascara, and I've got an eyeshadow palette as well. These ones I did buy a while ago. I think this is almost like their Christmas sort of collection or like a celebration sort of collection type thing. It did come out a few weeks ago, so maybe like October time. But the packaging is just really pretty on these. Some of the products come with a butterfly ring, because it's almost like a butterfly glam collection. This one is the butterfly lipstick in Extra Fancy. Just comes like that on there. You can just take the ring off. And then the product will just go back together. The lipstick is quite hard to open up again afterwards. But with the mascara it's much easier because it's got a separate band and then the butterfly ring goes on. Then this is mascara as well. It is quite simplistic packaging, so it's almost quite similar to their normal packaging, just in the rose gold, and then it's got the ring attached here. And then this one does shut better and open easier on the mascara, just because it has got a separate bit there that the ring goes onto. I think I'm going to wear this ring today. It's adjustable. It's quite a big ring, but I'm wearing that today. I also have the eyeshadow palette here as well. This is the Megastar Crystal Luxe eyeshadow palette, and these are some of the shades in there. This one just looked a bit more wearable for me. These are the sort of colours I go for. The other ones have a bit more light or like warm tone but peachy light colours in there, I believe, from what it looked like on the photo on the website. So I went for this colour one instead. There's a few mattes in here, there's a few shimmers and then glittery ones. And then some of these ones are just pressed glitters, I believe, because there's some which I've touched before and they're just straight up glitter that just come off into your hands. So I'll be trying to avoid those ones today because I don't really go for too much of a sparkly eye and I don't want it to get too like messy or anything anywhere either. I also have the highlighter or the illuminator. This is the Glamorous highlighter in the shade $1 Million. It's quite pretty, the packaging on the front there. It's got all of the like diamante bits in there. And then this is the highlighter. One's very pretty. I like the star printed in there. I think it's quite nice, this one actually, the shade of it and everything. There's usually a more of like a cooler, lighter toned highlighter and then a bit more of a warmer or golder toned one in a lot of these collections. So I went for the lighter one because it does seem to match my skin tone a bit better. I think I'll get started with eyeshadow first. I'm just going to go in with the shade Base here and then probably a bit of this one shade next to it just to kind of define everything. A little trick I'm going to do first, I'm going to take my Colourpop setting powder and take a bit on my Dry Beauty blender. Just going to make a line here where I want my eyeshadow to kind of sit and go to. This just makes it a bit easier to kind of get that definition. And the same on the other side. I've been doing this a lot recently with my eyeshadow and I think it's turned out really nicely. It almost gives that sort of like foxy eye look to it. This was the easiest way I found to do it so far, and it just blends out when you brush it out and it blends out with the eyeshadow, so a bit like softer and everything there. I'm going to take my favourite brush at the moment is the Morphe M433 brush. It's just a really nice sort of like squarish fluffy one. I've been using this a lot recently. And I'm going to go into that base shade, just to give an all over colour on there first, just so we have something down. It is quite good because on this palette it has got Glow, which is a lighter like highlighty sort of shade, base and then shade. So I guess this is, and they've got Sparkle there as well. So I guess this is like the basis. These are the four that you'd probably go for all the time, and then you can add the other colours to it. So I do think that's a good idea. And then I'm going to go in with shade and take a bit on the same brush and just take it above where the crease is for my eyelid. And then out into like this triangle sort of shape here. I'm going to take a little bit of the colour as well and then put it onto here. I'm not putting anything extra, I'm just dragging what I already had on the brush to this bit. Just gives a bit more definition to the eye shape. But just try not to put too much there. Just going to take a slightly fluffier brush. I'll use this one for blending. I'm just taking it at the edge here to make sure it's really kind of blended out because you don't want it to look too harsh. So to go in with the shade Vino. Just taking the same brush as before, I'm going to take the tiniest little bit. I don't want too much. I don't really know what the colour payoff is going to be like with this either. And then just slightly buff it into this outer edge. Into that darker shade already put there, but just more like in the corner. Along that line where I put the powder as well. And then bringing it slightly in. You want to emphasise the actual colour like here and here. And then just blend anything else out further. I'm going in with a little bit more of shade and then just blending that into this colour here as well, especially where I've got the shape here. Just kind of blending it and then bring it slightly up here as well, just so everything's blended. The colour makes it more sense and it's not just there separately on its own. I am just reapplying the powder to make sure I've got a really straight line there before I go ahead and put the eyeshadow on as eyeliner. I'm just going to go into the shade Caramel here, and I'm taking my Morphe M508 brush. It's just a tiny little kind of like flat brush. I like to use this one for my eyeliner. Just dabbing in and taking a little bit on the end of my brush of that caramel shade, and then just tapping it off slowly. And then I'm just following the line, starting here at the eyeline here, because this is where I want the most build up of colour. And then I want to almost blend out towards the edge here. I'm almost like dabbing that colour on, just to get that defined line for now. And it is quite a small brush, you can't really blend too much with it. So this does put the colour kind of precisely where you want it. I haven't took the eyeliner too far into the eye, I've kept it to the corner here. And I probably won't put anything on here. So as you can see, I've just drawn on the eyeshadow here, keeping it above the line where I put the powder. And then I haven't brought it too far in, just about here on my eye. It just makes this bit look more full with my lashes and really gives that sort of effect like that. This is probably a bit more of a winged eye than I usually go for when I'm doing this sort of thing. But this is kind of just what it looks like with the eyeshadow and the powder there at the moment. So I've just done the same on the other side there. I haven't quite mastered getting them looking exactly the same yet, so it will look different. But I am taking my Morphe M152 brush and going into that glow colour, which is that highlighter sort of shade there. And I'm just going to take it on the inner corner here. Just onto the eyelid section though, not anything too high for that. And then I'm just going to brush away this powder. And then you're just left with this really nice line where you've got your eyeliner up against but also the eyeshadow. And I think it just looks a lot softer than if you try to do it on its own, because sometimes I find I put it down too harsh to take it exactly to that point. But with this, you start on this sort of area of the colour and then you blend it out, and then when you've got that powder there, you can help to make a really nice straight line. And it just is a lot softer for that. Next I'm going to go in the Butterfly Lash Mascara. I think this is just a normal version of their normal mascara, I'm not too sure. But I'm just going to take it on the outer edges here first, kind of using my brush this way. And it just helps to like define the lashes at the edge a bit more. And then not forgetting to coat both sides of the lashes as well. This will make them thicker and darker. I'm just really focusing the mascara on this outer edge because it would help to kind of create that look again, and it would just be a bit more defined here. It doesn't really give too much volume. It's quite like a thin mascara, or makes my lashes look quite thin. It does give like a nice soft thin sort of effect to my eyelashes, kind of fluffy almost in a way, but I kind of do normally prefer a bit more drama and like
something extra with my eyelashes.
I'm going to go with the lipstick. This is the Butterfly lipstick in Extra Fancy. It has just got, I have used this before, it has just got a butterfly printed on there. But first I'm going to go in with the Milani Colour Statement Lip Liner in 04. I just think this is a really nice lip liner, really nice and like natural everything, and it does match this lipstick really well too. This lipstick is a really pretty shade and it has a really nice like finish to it, but it does smell like wax crayons. Not even any wax crayons, the type that you have in that big box where all the wrappers are peeled off, there's all broken parts in there from like wet play, like at school, you know? It's just, you can't smell it when it's on your lips, but it just smells like that, and none of the other lipsticks smell like that at all, that I've tried anyway. But I think this is a really nice nude shade for me. It's really pretty. That's an Extra Fancy. And you can't smell it at all when it's on your lips, it's just when you're using it. And then finally I'm going to go in with the highlighter. This is in the shade $1 Million. And I'm just using my Real Techniques brush, just a fan brush. And trying not to put too much in a line because it is easy to do with a fan brush. So I'm just doing it in like little circles as well to kind of blend it out a bit more. I think the more sort of spread out your highlighter is, the more natural it looks. It's just a bit more blown out and everything. It just looks like you're really glowing rather than the fact you've just got highlighter on your cheeks. This is a really pretty highlighter. I really like the shade of it and everything on me. And it is just a nice like sheeny wet look sort of one. Okay, so this is it. This is the finished look. I really like the lipstick and the highlighter. I think they're both really pretty. Has just a really nice sheen to it. and the lipstick is a really nice shade of nude, and it is just a quite nice matte and everything as well. The mascara, I don't really think it did anything much to my lashes anyway. They're quite thin, and they are separated, but they're quite thin and short still, whereas I like a mascara that is has a bit more like thicker formula, so it really does like stick to lashes, make them clumpy almost, and quite long and thick. That's the sort of mascara I normally like, so if you like normal mascaras, this one probably is for you. The eyeshadows, I still don't really know how much I feel about this. Look has turned out okay, but I still don't really know how I feel about it too much. I just thought it was kind of hard to work with, the colours, and also some of the colours in there didn't really make too much sense together. Like, it was nice it had those 4 shades, which was like the glow, the base shade, and glitter, but the rest of it didn't really make too much sense to me, and some of them were pressed glitters, so you couldn't even use those on your eyes without making a mess or being really glittery. There wasn't really too many shimmers in there, and there were some which aren't that usable for me anyway, that they're quite purpley or darker tones, which I guess if I'd bought the other one it would have had other ones in there, so it's my fault for choosing this shade palette. I just think some of the other formulas of eyeshadows are a lot nicer. These ones just didn't really blend too well for me. Otherwise, Revolution has really nice eyeshadows otherwise. Yeah, this is my favourite way of doing eyeshadow at the moment. I like to get it and really have it defined and then draw on with the eyeliner, which is just an eyeshadow. I just think it makes it look so much like prettier, and it makes it look like I know what I'm doing with my eyeshadow, which I don't at all. But this is something that just works for me at the moment. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you pick out some of these bits from Revolution. I'll leave all the links to them down below and everything. Also check me out on Instagram. I'm georgia.grage on there. But I don't know what I'm chatting about. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!